Believe it or not, a convicted criminal has more rights than a person on the guardianship. They get due process rights, they get a right to an attorney, and they get a 401 the state will provide one for them. They get to have a jury trial, and so on. When you're on the guardianship, you're told things like you don't have a right to an attorney. You told things like a person or a loved one cannot get an attorney for you. You're told things like you're not allowed to be heard in the court, either through you or through another person that's a witness. Your lawyer is told that he cannot be your attorney or an attorney for anybody that represents your interests. You're told you have to appear in person, even though you consider a disabled person or a person with disabilities. In the court policies or whatnot says that all hearings will be on Zoom. A person on the guardianship who, for as far as I know, at least in my sister's case, never asked to be on the guardianship, never asked for a disability or whatnot, they get placed in this position and then they get punished basically for being disabled. They get punished for getting older. They get punished for needing help and not being able to do like they used to do. They treat disability and old age or being a senior as a crime more than they do any of the crimes a convicted criminal commits. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like there's something seriously wrong with a system when a person who needs help, who didn't ask to get this way, who didn't ask for disabilities, is treated worse than a convicted criminal some of which has no remorse for the crime they committed. They commit the crime and did it intentionally, not because of self-defense, not because they defended somebody else or whatnot. They did it just because they wanted to do it. But yet they have more rights than people like my sister, who did not ask for a disability. She asked to be able to give birth to a baby like everybody else. The hospital messed up. She ended up with brain damage. They treat her as if she was the one that messed herself up and that she asked for this. And they act as if she deserves to be punished when she deserves to be protected and treated like a human being like everybody else. Not like she's less than human, not like she doesn't matter. And not be treated as if she's a burden on somebody or on the system or whatever when she didn't ask to be this way in the first place. When a person dies and they leave behind a will, the court will do whatever they need to do to make sure that person's last wishes are carried out. They will make sure the will is valid, and once they determine the will is valid, even if they have some unusual wishes, like say they might wish to leave all their money to their animal or their dog or whatnot, instead of the rest of their family members, the court will do what they can to respect that person's wishes, listen to them, and treat them like a human being, even though that person no longer here anymore. But what happens when somebody is alive but they have a disability or they're elderly or they consider incapacitated and they put in probate court under guardianship? They do not get the same respect as those that are dead. They have no due process rights. They suffer what's called civil death, which I described in another video. Basically means you're alive, you're breathing, you have hopes and dreams like everybody else, but the court treats you like you don't exist. And then while they're doing it, you're allowed to feel the pain. Even though I had one person in particular, Charlene Glover Hogan, say that my sister didn't understand her mom's or my mom's death, both our mom's death, that she wasn't grieving because she didn't know she was dead, which was a lie. Just because she forgot things doesn't mean she didn't feel the emotional pain of losing her mom. And that was when Charlene Glover Hogan refused to sign for her to get counseling. So she was such a monster that she didn't want her to get counseling, even though Kim Insurance paid for it at the time. So she would not have to dip in the trust. Charlene will not have to pay for it, rather. No one will have to pay for it. Her insurance will pay for it. Yet she denied it because she said that she thinks that Kim isn't grieving or can't grieve because she forgets things. Mind you, she has no idea what she's talking about because she doesn't have a background in social work. As far as I know, psychology, counselor, or anything like that. So she is not fit or educated enough to make that judgment call. I don't know, they didn't have a background in social work, now legal studies, law, business, particularly business administration, all those things. So I was in a better position to determine whether or not my sister I know my whole life needed counseling or not. But she decided she didn't need counseling, and then they just let her get away with it. So the dead gets more respect and care than the living, even though the dead is no longer here to feel pain. But my sister is. She feels the pain and atrocities of the probate court. She asks questions and wonders why they do this to her. Wondering why they're taking money that she deserves. Wondering why they take her freedom away. Every day she gets up, she got to experience that pain, that suffering, that hurt. And we had to watch her every day suffer and hurt. And we suffer hurt along with us because they treat us like we didn't have any rights, like we didn't matter. But yet the same court, probate court, that handles wills and trusts and all that stuff, treat the dead with more care than they do the living.